Now we have criminal defense attorney SARA AZARI with us now. So Sarah, let's start on the serious stuff here. The core of the defense presentation to the jury at this point is that there is no hard evidence, or not much hard evidence, tying Alex Murdaugh to this case. The defense said in their arguments law enforcement failed to miserably to pull DNA from Maggie or Paul. They only took DNA from Alex. What do you make of that argument altogether?
Well, Abby, look, remember that the prosecution in a double homicide trial yesterday, 3 hours of argument, made not one mention about the crime scene. They completely ignored the facts that were bad for them. In contrast, Jim Griffin got up today and he embraced the funk. He went right to the lie. You know, he's a liar, he's lied, but he's also an addict. He was under a lot of scrutiny, had a lot of skeletons in his closet. That is why he lied. He just didn't want to be in the spotlight. So that is what a good lawyer does. We don't ignore the bad facts. We embrace them, we explain them. I think he did a great job weaving in the very important instructions for the defense, the presumption of innocence, the burden of proof, the definition of reasonable doubt, and more importantly, circumstantial evidence instruction that says essentially to a jury that if there's more than one inference on a specific fact, you have to find it on the side of innocence, not guilt, right? These are really, really important instructions for this jury. And yeah, I mean, listen, it's ironic that in a double murder trial that it's the defense coming forward with the science and the lack thereof, as opposed to the prosecution presenting the science and, you know, being beyond a reasonable doubt. I think the argument today was very effective. I think he hit all the points. There's a lot of criticism about it being maybe not as dynamic, but neither side was. I mean, at least we didn't have Professor Waters slouched over on the jury box, mansplaining to the jury. I found that to be so offensive yesterday.
Well, I do want to play actually a portion of the Chief Prosecutor Creighton Waters' closing arguments to the jury. He is describing here the moments in which Maggie and Paul were murdered. Listen.
Maggie sees what happens and she comes running over there, running to her baby. Probably the last thing on her mind, thinking that it was him who had done this, she's running to her baby while he's picked up the blackout and opens fire at close range, again with no defensive wounds. Everyone who thought they knew who he was, he's fooled them all. And he fooled Maggie and Paul too. And they paid for it with their lives. Don't let him fool you too.
So in the absence of what you describe as the science, there's no murder weapon, you know, you're not seeing any evidence of blood or gore even on Alex Murdaugh. He's relying on this argument that Murdaugh is a serial liar and a master manipulator. Will that work or even resonate with the jury?
Look, I think it's at this point, Abby, the jurors have pretty much made up their mind one way or another. I think it goes to, look, it's consciousness of guilt that he lied about, you know, being at the kennels earlier, right before the murders. But again, Griffin blew up the timeline, blew up the time of death. It's all about this phone. We're all dead because we're not using our phone right now, right? So that's effective. Is that lie really then material? Does it even really matter, or is it consciousness of guilt if at the same time that he's denying being at the kennels, he's also pressing SLED for data that is exculpatory to him, that shows that he was not with Maggie at the time? And all this nonsense about my baby, we don't know what Maggie and Paul were doing. These are not facts and evidence. This is borderline prosecutorial misconduct. He's misleading the jury. Sure, I think a jury can make an inference that a mother would be wanting to protect her son, but you know, it's not a fact and evidence, and it's very misleading. I was surprised that there was no objections, but I haven't seen any objections either way throughout the closings.
I was struck by his use of the word probably when describing that scene, you know, that he sort of said inferred played out in that kennel. SARA AZARI, as always, thank you very much for joining us on this. And you can catch her true crime show, Death by Fame. It's on Investigation Discovery on Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time.